Yo, so one of the number one questions I get is, yo, Cyrus, how do I scale in this industry? Now, one of the things I'm sure that most of y'all have realized is how people talk about jumping across different companies in order to scale in tech. But I'm actually a proponent of telling people, hey, yo, if you actually even just stay at your company, there's still opportunity for you to scale. And people are like, well, what does that actually look like? Well, my guest that I have here is going to be able to touch on that for us. So I want to introduce y'all to my guest, John Wood.
What's happening?
Bruh, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm happy to be on, man. It's nice in here.
Bro, I'm always laughing in the mic, and I get in trouble for laughing in the mic because my laugh is too loud. Not your laugh, that's my laugh.
Okay.
I get in trouble for that. Bro, man, dude, I'm so happy for you to be here, man.
Yeah.
You know, not even just as a guest for A Tech is a New Black, but just, you know, just as a homie, you know, just for you to kind of, you know, be in the space and everything. It's always good to see you, you know, always been good vibes and stuff to see you, man. And, you know, now we not just, you know, brothers in poetry. Now we not just brothers in Christ. It's like, yo, like also like brothers like in this tech space.
Yeah, man.
Well.
It's big.
Dude. Yeah, man. So let's jump into it, dude. Bruh, how many times have you gotten promoted at your company?
Man, like 3. Like in a really short period of time.
So you've been in 4 different positions or four. So you started off in one spot, moved up 3 times.
3 times. Yeah.
That's crazy. And in what like window of time did all of those happen?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So I started as a product owner.
Okay.
Like, that's why I came as a technical product owner. And that was January 2020, right before the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And then I think maybe a year later, March, it might have been, about March or so of 2021, I got promoted to a product manager. Mm-hmm. Then I moved to senior like 3 months later. Yeah,
I remember seeing that. I remember looking on your LinkedIn. I was like, you got promoted, and then 3 months later got promoted again?
Yeah, to senior. And then, like, this year, it's 2022? I made manager. So now I'm a manager.
Okay, so is that manager of product management?
Yeah, manager of product management.
That's why. And you ain't even updated that on your LinkedIn.
Nah, it's not.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. So I did like a little webinar joint recently.
Yeah.
Where one of the days of the webinar, I was showing people like how to utilize LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. You know, and I forget. I was talking through people's LinkedIn's and we had a sidebar where we started talking about scaling in tech. And then I went to show them your LinkedIn. I was like, man, y'all think I'm capping? Like, woo woo. So I went to show them your LinkedIn, and then you don't even have on your LinkedIn that you're a manager of product. You ain't even showed your stuff on there yet.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. I kind of forgot. I didn't forget. I just be like, you know if you know, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, yo, I ain't got to put that junk on.
Yeah. But I need to, though. I need to, though. My company do be heavily on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You know, and people, like, they meet you, and immediately they go and, like, add you on LinkedIn. It's like, you know.
That's definitely a thing.
Yeah, it's like the new, like, just like Instagram vibe.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. I know LinkedIn's doing some fire stuff. I know the CEO and them are talking through some stuff where they're trying to work through they're trying to work through doing a bunch of different things. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. But yeah, bro, so like let's talk about like, dude, like how did you do that? Yeah,
I think the biggest thing that I learned is, okay, so I'm a product manager. Mm-hmm. So the first thing, like, you gotta know the product really well. Like, if you're in tech, you know what I'm saying, whatever you sell, whatever you're doing, and maybe you're not in product, but maybe you're in professional services, mm-hmm. or whatever you're in, you need to learn the product very, very well.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's number 1. Number 2, you need to focus your mindset on serving people.
Okay.
Like, how can I serve? Like, how can I just not come and do my job, but I'm actually have a service mindset, and to the point that I'm solving problems for other people.
Yeah.
Like, my job is to come here and to serve, but also to solve problems for other people, you know. And I would say that third thing is that getting promoted, you know, like, now I'm sitting in a manager seat. Yeah. I'm in manager meetings, and I understand what managers are looking for. It's like, you know, I've been in tech since I was 23 years old, you know, and I was never a manager. I was never any of those things. I was kind of just moving through it. And now finally getting in that seat and being like, dang, this is what managers are really looking at. This is what they really care about.
How has that affected your perspective on things?
It make you want to go harder. Like,
Dang.
you know what I'm saying? It make you want to be like a leader for real. Like, it really does make you want to go harder. You be like, dang, to sit in a seat like a director seat or like a SVP seat or, whatever these seats that people are sitting in, like you just really do have to be a certain type of person.
Or what's wild? There are different things that change people a lot. Might see somebody, get serious about their walk with God, or you'll see someone they'll get married or they'll have children, like stuff like that, where it changes them.
It changes you.
And bro, I'm not gonna lie, man, dude, I've noticed like a serious like change in maturity in you, and you've never been an immature person by any stretch, but it's like I've noticed a notable maturity in you where I'm like, yo, what has happened to this dude?
Yeah.
And now that you talk about it, you talk about your position, it's like, okay, that makes a lot of sense, because I'm sure it sounds like it matured you a lot.
Yeah. Life is so much about like becoming the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like we focus life, because it's interesting enough. Like I feel like a lot of those like changes started happening in my job once I started to change the way I thought, like I think about what I'm doing and how I'm spending my time and how I'm showing up. And once I really started to see myself as the thing, like this framework of like be, do, have, like because I become a certain type of person, the way I think, I do certain things that other people don't do. Therefore, I have what other people do not have.
I love that.
And so we look at life as like, oh, I want to have stuff. Like, we just see, oh, I got to do this to have. But a lot of people, they don't focus on being. Like, how do I become this way? How do I change the way I see myself? How do I change the way I think, continuously?
Yeah.
And so then I'm becoming, and therefore my actions follow, and therefore the fruit of those actions show up.
I love that. That's fire. So in the realm we're talking about becoming, like, what is someone... Like, what does it mean to be a product manager?
Yeah.
Or to work in product?
That's a good question. I think being in product is all about, a lot of it is, obviously, it's creating solutions for people, right? But honestly, a big part of it is staying curious.
Okay.
It's like staying curious and getting as close to the person you serve as possible.
Okay.
How do I get close to, like, if I've solved problems, for, whoever my users are, whatever it is, how do I get as close to these people? And so it's kind of like, people like Apple have done this really well, like they release a feature and you be like, doggone, I knew I needed that. You know what I'm saying? I needed that. It's like they already knew that you needed it.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it is just continuing staying so curious and getting so, like, it's that service mindset. Like, how can I serve this particular person so well that now I'm releasing things and I'm adding value throughout my product, continuously, know.
So for people who are listening, or those that are watching who don't even know, like, what is product?
Yeah.
Type of thing, because a lot of people hit me up about product man. They're like, "Hey, Sarge, you know any boot camps, programs, do product management?" And I, like, just from conversation with them, I can tell. I'm like, you don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
You just know you're gonna make good money.
You just know it's a chicken.
That's what you know. So, like, can you talk to those people? Be like, yo, like, just like this is what it is. This is why it's valuable to a company.
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of tech companies, most like tech companies, they start figuring out a problem that they want to solve. For, I work for a company that works in sales tech, and so a lot of that is like, okay, we want to serve sellers, that's who we serve. And so the product is a potential solution for that person's problem.
Yeah.
And so now I'm creating, a product, for that person. And so, anything that you're using, a lot of times on your phone, apps, are products.
Yeah, that's true.
There are products that a particular company owns. And these are different solutions, for, the problems they're trying to solve for their users or their personas that they are looking to, solve problems for.
Can you give any examples? Maybe not B2B, because I know most people listening are all of us in general, we use different platforms, different apps and stuff. So I guess if you could use like a product, you could use a company and maybe use one of their products or one of their features as an example.
That's a good question. Oh yeah, that's a good point. So is Shopify a good example?
I think so. Rhea, you nod your head. Is Shopify a good example? She gave a thumbs. She's like, thumbs up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think. Yeah, let's go with it. Yeah.
Okay. So, no secret, I run it like another business.
Yeah.
I run another business.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
And so my company, we use Shopify as a product. Mm-hmm. It's an e-commerce platform that businesses use to make websites, and so this like Shopify has a particular product. This e-commerce platform they use, and that's the product that they sell, And so there are product managers who own different parts of that product.
Yeah.
And because of that, as, Shopify or wherever companies, as they begin to roll out new features for those particular products that my company uses, and this could be as simple as like orders, how we see our orders and everything. I click the order screen, what's there, what's available, what can I do? Can I refund the order?
So it gets like really detailed.
Yep, it's very, very detailed. And so a product person is probably figuring out what does, there's a John out there who wants to know, who wants to manage his orders. What type of solutions can we make in this product for him? And a product manager is deciding what those features are.
Yeah, I always tell people, oh, what does a sales engineer do? And I'm like, yo, like we demo or do a presentation. A lot of people are like, what's demo? Like we do a presentation of our company's products to a prospect, a customer, someone who's interested, and we tailor the demo to them.
Yep.
But we demo the company's product. Like sometimes, sometimes we're called solutions experts, just like someone would be a product expert. Like we're supposed to be product experts where we do a presentation over the product. But it's like many times people will say, hey, can your product do this, or can your company's technology do this? And if it can't, many times we're like, okay, cool, we have to send it up the pipeline, send it up the chain. And then usually it's the product managers who get that. And they're like, okay, cool, this is a feature request that a lot of people have been asking for. How do y'all determine, this is what I want to know. How do y'all determine, because as a company, or just your team in general, y'all have a crap ton of stuff that people are asking for your technology to do. Like I kind of think about like with Instagram, like when they came out with Reels.
Yeah.
And when they first came, they definitely rushed it. But it was like when they first came out with it, there were some things on it couldn't do.
Yeah.
And in my mind, working in tech now, I'm like, okay, I get it now. I'm like, the product team is probably trying to pick and choose which things matter, what should come first, what extra little feature or nugget should be added onto Reels type of thing. But it's like, yo, like, how do you make a decision on what you're gonna have the team of engineers focus on to actually develop?
Yeah, you really want to. It's all about what we call prioritization, like making priority. What is a priority? A lot of times you're looking at ways that you can solve big pain points with what is this big pain point and how can I solve it with as minimum effort as possible? Like, can I just move this around? Can we just add this pop-up right here? Do we need to, how can I, okay, so you're always going to do those features first. Big pain, but not a whole lot of time that it takes to do it. And so then you're just evaluating like, okay, and if it's also a big pain, but it takes a long time, okay, well, we might, that's a bigger project. And so what's the trade-off? Now is deciding what am I not going to do because I've decided to do this.
That's good. So it's kind of like, okay, you probably prioritize big pain, but it's an easy fix. It's easy for us to fix that.
Yeah.
And it's a big pain.
Yeah.
So let's do that. But then it's like, okay, big pain, hard to fix.
It's like that
small
square
pain. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. So that's what you're categorizing, like how you're making those decisions.
I would probably suck in product because I'm not even gonna cap. I think the thing I actually like when I make my daily schedule throughout the day, 9 times out of 10, there are 2 to 3 things that I had on my task list that I didn't get done. And I keep finding, I'm like, yo, those are actually the most important things. It actually just hit me yesterday. I said, yo, bruh, you prioritize the things that are most important. And so listening to you talk, I'm like, yeah, I probably would have said it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's definitely a hard decision.
Yeah.
You know, it's just constant decision making.
Man.
And like pressure, you know what I'm saying, from either users, like I work with partners, so like partners, they want stuff done. The business wants other things done.
The pressure is getting worse.
That part exactly. So yeah, that's really what you're always juggling. Like,
so even on juggling, like you're not just juggling those decisions at your job. Like you're juggling, like, so you're moving up at your company, killing it, doing fire stuff, making these decisions.
Yeah.
But also, in the spirit of juggling, you are also juggling being a business owner.
Yeah.
And you are creative as well. Like, you know, you're a poet, you're a creative. It's not like it's like something kind of off to the side type of thing. It's like, yo, it's something that's actually like popping. Like you have a team, things like that. So, yo, how do you juggle both?
Yeah. It's back to that word, like time management, prioritization. Yeah. Like, how can, you know, deciding what are the most important things for me to get done. Like, you know, while I'm at work, I think work used to be, oh, okay, I'm kind of like, oh, I can get, you know what I'm saying, some other stuff done, you know what I'm saying, woo, woo, woo. It's not like that anymore. Like, you know, I'm a manager. Like, I'm in these seats.
Yeah.
Like, I like talk to like our CPO of our business all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that level of like accountability and people looking at my work.
Has that done anything to where, so, you're a black man, and has that done anything to where now you're positioning, are there any conversations around like best practices as to how you navigate things even outside of work on social? Like, you don't be wilding on social media. You don't be like at a strip club right, type of thing. but it's like, yo, like, are those conversations and things that happen?
As far as like how I like my like perception, like how I
how
myself.
You move, like even outside of work.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've always been like that though. Like, you know what I'm saying. I always been try to do my best to be. I don't know, I won't say move discreetly, but, you know, move with wisdom, you know what I'm saying, about what I feel like I got to show people what I do or what I got going on, or, you know, I've always like, but people are watching. Because
you was being real discreet. I know when I got my car, when I got my new car, and you was kind of sitting like, you was like, man, you was like, I'm going to hold off. You finally was like, let me go ahead and
get
you got that new Mustang, right? The electric one.
Yeah, the Mach-E.
That joint is fire.
Yeah, it's nice.
It is fire. Speaking of tech, that's technology in and of itself. But that's a whole nother conversation. Yes. So you've always moved in a certain way of being discreet, but just kind of in the vein of being a creative, being a business owner, being a manager. Like, you're wearing all of these different hats. So you touched on how you've like navigated that in terms of like time management, in terms of, I guess, going back to even being in product, you making decision, okay, what priority, like what the priorities of certain things. But it's like, yo, like as a creative, I guess it's like, how do you navigate being a creative, being an entrepreneur, which entrepreneurialism in and of itself is a bit of creative like energy type of thing. How do you navigate that, but then also having such like rigorous structure of working in tech, working corporate, being a manager? So it's like how do you navigate that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like what I'm learning is facilitating like time towards the parts of you that parts of your makeup. Like, so if you know that, okay, I need to listen to at least X amount of business videos and acumen and content a week, that's what I need to be feeding on. Like, I know I need to get on TikTok for an hour and look at the newest trends so I can talk to my social media manager about it. But, you know, like, it's like finding those time pockets. So it's like, even though, like, as a believer, like, oh, okay, I'm going to spend time, you know, in the word because I know that's a part of me that needs to be fed. And so what I found is I am very strict about the content that I consume. You know, like, there's certain, you know, podcasts and videos or YouTube channels really that I subscribe to, and I watch these people, you know, and to make sure I'm getting that intake to keep me motivated, to keep me thinking, because that's the hardest thing about, like, you know, being a leader or being in certain seats is like there's a certain level of information and wisdom that has to be in you at all times.
Man.
You know, and that's what you have to continue to be intentionally feeding.
So you got to constantly pour into yourself.
Correct.
Yeah, so that way you have stuff to pour out. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's so interesting, like, you know, like us being believers, I understand that in terms of, you know, like ministering, where it's like, yo, you got to pour in yourself, woo. But I guess seeing that in the same vein in terms of one being a business owner, but then also you, being in your leadership position at your company, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, one of the things I've noticed that the less I've been around poetry, so for y'all who are everybody listening and watching, John and I actually met because I used to be a poet. I used to be a spoken word artist, and we met in those circles. We kept bumping into each other at events, and then one thing led to another, and it was just like, yo, like we're just cool. And yeah, one thing I've noticed is that I'm like, because at first I couldn't stand the idea of business. I couldn't stand the idea of, like, it just bored me so much.
Yeah.
You know, that bored me. Tech, like, it was like, what is that?
Yeah.
And I remember like praying and asking God. I was like, yo, because I started seeing God nudge me in a direction, and I was like, yo, God, can you give me like the heart? Can you give me the passion for this?
That's good.
And it's really wild because kind of going to what you said, like God led me the other direction. He said, yeah, I'll do that. He was like, but you start reading these books. You start putting in the work. And now I realize, I'm like, oh, through the work is where like the passion for it came. Because as I poured into myself, now it's like, oh man, I love it so much type of thing. And so, and I've noticed on the back end, like on the opposite side, because I don't go to poetry events anymore, I've noticed, I'm like, man, I just don't care for it at all anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to, you know, Ezekiel's thing and all that, 'cause that's going to be fire. That's going to be dope. But I'm just, so it is interesting, like really what we feed.
What we feed.
I think a lot of creatives are like, well, no, like there's no way I could do that thing because I'm like this. And it's like, man, it's kind of like what you were saying. It's like, yo, if they feed that thing in themselves, they'd be surprised what they actually could develop.
Oh yeah, that's all it is. Like I talked to, you know, and of course, like to the other point where we're talking about how to manage is, you know, we built a team with Black Forever, you know, and so that's been a blessing. So some of the, you know, thinking I can go give to other people, you know, because that's the biggest thing. It's like decision overload. You have so many decisions to make all the time. So how can I hire people or bring people onto my team to think about this when I don't want to think about it or make decisions? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, y'all figure that out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, what should y'all go figure that out. You know what I'm saying? Okay, y'all, you know what I'm saying? We showing up for content day. What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? I didn't think about it before we got here. You know what I'm saying? I have an idea. You know, I have a thought or two, but what are we doing? So it's like, how can I offload decisions to the other decision makers? So now I can, you know, focus in on like leading, you know what I'm saying, and encouraging and coaching, you know, which are some of the biggest things about. I was like, I made a tweet one time. I said, you think launching a product, you know what I'm saying, is hard. The people, you know, leading the team is harder. It's hard. The product is just a thing. Like you can manipulate it, you can change it, you can.
But people are complicated.
But people are complicated.
Yeah,
and they're always motivated by different things.
Man, that's very real. Yeah, it's so wild. As complex as technology is becoming, like people are still much more complex. Yeah, much more complex. Dude, like, so, man, I love talking to you, having this conversation. I'm actually kind of in this weird space right now. Like, with everything we're doing with Texas New Black, like, one of the things that I've been running into is, like, my social media where, like, the DMs are just, like, crazy. And I just can't keep it. Like, I've literally dedicated an hour every day to my DMs, and I'm getting further behind. I'm like, this is madness. So, the first company I worked at, Dialpad, right before I left, they integrated a technology where it's called Omnichannel. That's like a kind of a big name in the space overall, but it's a technology or it's a product that essentially it allows a social media manager to just be on that one dashboard And if customers email, text, send a DM on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, or on the company's website chat box, no matter where the customer's message at, it'll all get filtered into that one dashboard. And like, demoing that, it was brand new. I was like, yo, this joint is fire. I was like, this is crazy.
They did that.
And I'm like, it's funny. I actually had a meeting with Dialpad Friday, and I was like, that's funny. I'm about to be a Dialpad customer.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I'm about to hire a virtual assistant, and I'm like, they're literally gonna be using Dialpad's product.
Shit, I need that too.
And it's like it's really fire, bro.
Yeah,
it's
I need that too.
So any of y'all who you a social media manager, you might want to start using it, because one, it'll help you. You might be able to be a social media manager for like multiple companies and different people. But also you might want to use it, because if you're not using it and other companies start using it, they might be like, okay, we don't need 2 or 3 social media managers. We just need one person now. You might lose your job. So definitely kind of take that plug when it comes to that. So listening to you talk about, kind of like navigating those things and delegating, like I'm pretty trash at delegating. I'm the type of person where it's like, even when we were kind of doing stuff to kind of get set up here, I naturally am like, oh, I need to clean that up. I need to do this, instead of letting someone do that. Because in my mind, maybe it's in my mind, I want to seem so fake humble, because I'm combating with this feeling of like, I don't want to seem like I'm not humble. So let me whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop type of thing. And it's like, man, like, how do you like let that go?
Bro, that is literally the hardest thing to do. Is to really, one thing is you get people on your team who are better at things than you.
Okay.
That's the number one way you let it
go.
Easy.
That was easy with Eric.
Yeah, exactly. They better at it than you.
Yeah.
And so that's the first thing you do is like, let me find people who are better at those things. Like, definitely that's a big thing. And then if you're talking about folks who are just helping you with smaller tasks and like more administrative things, or kind of what they call like things that anybody can do, like package up orders or stuff like that, document stuff.
Yeah.
Document as much as you can. Like, make documentation like a business. You know what I'm saying? Create documentation, write it out to the T exactly how you did it, or a video showing yourself doing it, and like bringing people in, be like, hey, this is how you do this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's fire. Yeah. That's good. That's gonna be helpful for even with the what I'm gonna do with the omni-channel thing I was talking about earlier. So you've moved up a lot of the company. How old was your company when you came on? Like, was it? Or
I think like 11 years or something like that.
Okay, was it considered medium-sized business?
Yeah, it was less than 500 people when I got there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And they're like at about a little over 800, maybe close to 900 people now.
Okay, so is that still considered medium-sized? Is it medium-sized till it hits 1,000?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So for those listening or watching and you don't know, like in industries in general, not even just tech, like most industries or companies are categorized by very small business, medium-sized business, and then I think then it jumps to enterprise.
Enterprise, right? Like over 1,000. Employees. I think it's enterprise.
Yeah, so that matters for various different reasons. So I have a theory, and I want your opinion on this.
Okay.
So I have a theory. So I found a site. I low key probably shouldn't be sharing this. I shared. I just probably shouldn't be sharing, but whatever it is, we can theorize. We can talk about it. So someone put me on a site where you're able to. It's a site that investors usually find them, where you can see the top 100 startups. So, and usually it categorizes them by seed round, Series A, Series B. And y'all YouTube what that means, because we got time to break that down. And so, but I saw this and I was like, yo, like, I understand investors, that's dope for investors. It's dope for different people for various reasons. But from my mind, I'm like, yo, I think that's a hack for people who want to, like, it's like, yo, if you get in at one of these companies and the company is like Series A, Series B, like it's still a SMB, it's a small, medium-sized business, not even really mid-market yet. It's like, yo, and you kill it at your job.
Yeah.
you could not just get promoted quickly, like your stock options.
Yeah, you can get vested. You go get that bread.
Man, bro. So again, this is something I was theorizing about, and I was like, yo, I gotta talk to John about this and see like what he thinks about.
Oh yeah, because our company got like they sold off a big part of the company to like an investor or whatever. You know, I don't know how all that works.
Yeah, I don't know how all
that works, but they sold like a certain amount of options.
Yeah,
or whatever. Yeah, we got that payout, bro.
Ooh, so did you exercise some of your stock options with your company?
Not yet. I haven't exercised them yet, but they're there.
Yeah. So again, I'm misusing the language. So not exercise stock options. This is probably people watching or listening. They like, man, they don't know they talking about, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yo, we in tech. We ain't in. This ain't about stocks.
Yeah.
So not exercise them, but so you have.
I do have stock options.
Okay,
I
cool.
do have stock options. Yeah,
That's
they come
fine.
through. You know, and they just like, you acknowledge
so you just
it.
let yours rack up.
Oh yeah. Until the company goes public.
Yeah. Do they have plans to go public anytime soon?
I think so soon.
Okay, cool.
I don't know what soon is the word, but
they always say like, oh, we're gonna go public soon. It's like, all right,
yeah.
That's cool, man. Shouts out to your company. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next segment where we are going to do something I'm really excited about doing. This is actually gonna be the first time doing this.
Okay.
So this is a segment called Jetsons or Terminator. So in the segment, we are looking at technology and addressing it as something that we think will make life better, like the Jetsons.
Okay.
Or if we think it's gonna bring on a Terminator-like apocalypse.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
So we're gonna react to it. We're gonna basically kind of read the headline article and get a first reaction. You're not gonna fully share if you think it's Terminator or whatever. Then we're gonna kind of read through the rest of it and then kind of get like the full spiel.
Okay, cool.
All right. So headline of this first one is that Meta's AI reads speech from your brain. So, just off hearing that before you even dive into your face, y'all, he did the side eye just, for those listening. All right, so kind of reading through this article from Silicon Angle, they have put down when people speak, they are thinking about how the words they are going to form with their mouths. They're thinking about the words they are going to form with their mouths. And in fact, it's not necessary to talk at all in order for the brain to form the activity involved in speech. That's important because the parts of your brain that control the mouth and the parts that involve understanding and forming language are separate. Researchers at Meta's platform, Facebook AI Research Labs, have been putting this knowledge along with artificial intelligence to work in order to learn how to assist people who have suffered traumatic neurological injuries that have left them unable to communicate through speech, typing, or gesture.
Okay.
So fast forward. However, non-invasive techniques such as large word that I'm not going to be able to read out, EEG, Magno, Tiano, some other large word. I'm pretty good at reading words, but these are some large freaking words.
Yeah, they brought them syllables on you.
Man. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, basically. But no, so to break it all down, so on one aspect, this is something, and Elon Musk has something similar. What the freak is it called? Thank you, Neuralink. He has Neuralink. So reading through this, because I actually didn't fully read through these. I was like, yo, I want my reaction to be raw as well and real. So initially, I was thinking, oh, it's just for Meta, where it's just people, you don't have to talk, people could read your thoughts. Which, I was kind of like, okay, whatever. But now reading through this, I'm like, oh, this is Neuralink. They low-key biting off Neuralink.
Okay, yeah.
But, so Neuralink, it goes further. So I guess now we can talk about this and Neuralink. Neuralink goes further where it's also about people who can't move. So people who are like paraplegics, they can't move. People who they can't move because it's something in their brain. Neuralink links that thing to the body part, like through tech. And literally people who usually can't move are able to move and get up and walk and stuff. So it's literally healing or fixing.
Crazy.
Wild. Really wild. And it's like, yo, that's really crazy. So in this whole conversation we're having, whether we're talking Meta, Neuralink, whatever, it's like, yo, do you think that's Jetsons, where it's like, yo, that's a fire future? Or do you see that as like, because on the other, like, do you see that as like Terminator, Doomsday?
Yeah. I can't think of a scenario right now where that would be bad.
I can think of one.
Okay, what is it?
All right, if someone hacks it. So let's say.
Oh yeah.
So let's say a bunch of people have this in them, right? So they literally are able to move around, walk. You know, like someone who can't talk, they're mute, but now they can speak, or they have some type of machine that speaks for them, whatever. It's like if a hacker hacks a group of people.
Oh, that sounds like Westworld.
I haven't seen Westworld.
Oh snap, you haven't? Oh yeah, you gotta go see it.
Yeah, so that's
you gotta watch it.
That's the only scenario I can think of. But I guess just on paper, because I'm not trying to sway you at all.
Yeah.
Just on paper, do you say Jetsons or Terminator?
I say Jetsons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's cool. Because I do feel like if that was the people in mind with that is what people with a lot of money, that like the type of like problems they should be trying to solve and the people they should be trying to help.
Yeah, that is real. Because I love your perspective on that. Because it's like, yo man, y'all got all this money, all this technology. It's like, yeah, y'all doing all this stuff. It's like, bro, y'all making TikToks. Y'all helping companies make money. It's like, man, do something that's really going to help the less fortunate.
Yeah.
And that is, it's like, yo, that's even better than giving money, because it's like the money going to be spent and it's going to go back to the rich folk.
Yeah.
It's like, man, but that's something that really helps folks. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a Jetsons scenario. Hopefully they have protection around it, so that way there ain't no hackers that's gonna hack it. They like, yo, we controlling 100 people until y'all send us this money. That gonna be wild.
That would be crazy. Wow.
All right, super cool. All right, so next one. All right, so Ford's vision for package delivery is a robot that folds up in the back of a self-driving car, and this comes via the Verge article. All right, so in Ford's reimagining, they have a robot called Digit that will be bundled into the back of a self-driving car. When the car reaches its destination, the trunk pops open. The Digit unfolds itself in a manner unnervingly similar to the droid army in Star Wars, the Phantom Menace. The robot can then complete the last crucial step of the delivery, actually picking up the parcel and dropping it on your doorstep. No humans required. To be clear, Ford currently has no firm roadmap for creating a fully functioning delivery service. Basically, their product team ain't figured out when that's gonna be out. But it's not alone in exploring the space. Both Amazon and FedEx, of course, all of them are on it. So this is actually like a little quick glimpse of it getting out the vehicle. So I watched the video, and if you want, I'll send you the link later so you actually can see it. But yeah, so basically it's a robot. So one, we have a self-driving car, so remove a delivery driver, and two, we have the robot that comes out that actually takes it up. Because one thing that a lot of people don't know is that when it comes to like a lot of these robots, it's really hard for them to create a robot that can do everything a human can do. So each robot has to be specific to a certain function, which shows how unique we are with how versatile of what all we can do. But what do you think? Is this the Jetsons or is this Terminator?
I don't like this one. I would like this Terminator. Final answer. Nah, I don't like this one. I don't know why.
You don't know why?
Well, now if you gonna self-drive me to, what I'm doing, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. But the robot, like,
I want you showing up my doorstep.
Yeah, and I ain't, them shoes that this robot had on, them shoes was kind of crazy. Them feet was.
What are those? He gonna say.
Them feet was kind of nuts.
He gonna open the door and look at the robot and say, "What are those?"
I'm saying, like.
Then the robot. That's why the robot turned to Terminator.
Listen,
you're gonna offend him. You're gonna be like, you know what, bro? We tired of y'all roasting us.
Listen, yeah, that's I don't like that one. I don't know why.
I say Jetsons, and I'm gonna say this. This is gonna be a petty reason, but I'm being very real though. Look. Shouts out to y'all who are delivery drivers that do your job. And
that's fair.
Shouts out to y'all, but for the rest of y'all. Man, living here, one of my biggest frustrations was staying here.
Oh, yeah.
Man, the delivery people, man. Not all of them, but many of them, like, they'll call 6 a.m. Hey, I'm having trouble getting up. And I'm like, yo, you have the instructions, use the call box thing. And then they will literally basically, sometimes you run into stuff with delivery drivers where it's the human error, and some of them are overworked. Especially with certain companies. I'm about to shade no companies on here, but certain companies definitely overwork their people, and you can tell they're overworking them. And the plan is for them to get rid of them and eventually replace them with what we're like we just saw. It listed one of the companies here. I ain't gonna say their names, but it listed one of the companies. Nevertheless, as a consumer, I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
I've had delivery people lie. I've had them like, oh, I delivered it and they didn't deliver it. I had a delivery person show up somewhere to deliver something, and then I was like, oh, it's supposed to be here. They said, oh, you put this. I said, oh, that's my bad. And they said, oh, it's cool. They said, I'll wait here for you. Bro, I drove 50 minutes when I got there, was blowing them up. Looked at the thing they had just hit that they canceled. Didn't even call me. I gave them my number and everything. That junk had me sick.
That's crazy.
Sick. So I was like, man, when I saw this, I was like, yo, I'm with it.
Yeah, that's real.
So I say Jetsons.
Yeah, that it was probably certain, I don't even know, certain type of person to be on your job like on that. And like you said, people be overworked and all that good stuff. So yeah, that makes sense.
I do believe it's an opportunity. So one, I know people, it's like, yo, a lot of jobs are going to be lost. But it's like, again, this also provides opportunity, with like the space that we're in. This provides opportunity for people to consider it. It kind of makes me think like the Willy Wonka thing, or not, Willy Wonka, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where his dad lost his job to some bot. But it's like later on, he was like, oh, I got a better job repairing that bot now. And it's like, that's how I see the tech space, where it's like,
that's good.
It's removing opportunities, but it's also presenting better ones if you're willing to step up to the occasion.
That is a really good point.
Yeah, so, bro, but got a lot of questions for you, questions that people sent in. It was tough finding the best ones, so for everyone who submitted questions, my apologies if yours does not get brought up, but let's go ahead and get to it. All right, so first question, what tips do you have for people who want to get promoted quickly?
Find a need in your company. Find a need, like a problem area that the business has not figured out. You know what I'm saying? They know it's a problem. Other people know it's a problem, but maybe the business doesn't have a person there to do it yet. Ooh. Or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you start solving that problem. And then, people like, oh dang, this person is woo woo woo. Like I see, or whatever it is, like document what you did, like present it. Because really another thing about promotion is actually about visibility.
Yeah.
Because you could be doing good work, but if that was my problem, I was doing good work, but nobody knew what I was doing.
Bro, that's so fire. Like you touching on both of those components, because one of the complaints I see from a lot of people online, and sometimes they're joking, sometimes they're serious, is they're like, "Oh, I'm not doing all that work. I'm not getting paid for that. I'm not doing that." I see that all the time, and my heart is like, bro, like that's wild. That's wild you think that way. But nevertheless, people's rebuttal is that they're like, "Oh, I've done a bunch of work and wasn't acknowledged for it, or didn't do anything."
That's
so
fair.
you're saying do the work, but also make sure, like, how does someone make sure that they're being seen?
That's visible?
Yeah, visible, yeah.
Yeah, visibility is big. I would say when you're on whatever the forums that your team meets, make sure your manager knows. Make sure people, whoever the space you're solving the problem for, you're like you said, you're serving somebody when you're solving that problem, even if it just isn't for your team. It could be you can go serve it do something for somebody else. That person, they're going to be grateful. You know what I'm saying? And have that person champion what you did, you know what I'm saying, or whatever it is. And so it's about, I'm telling you, that is what it is. Like, it's literally about finding those problem spots and those problem areas, you know what I'm saying? Because one big thing in my current role is, like, I'm actually the product manager for our API.
Okay.
You know, and so it's really technical. A lot of people who are in the product organization, they don't know about APIs. Yeah. They don't know how they work. They don't know what it is. And so I was like the API person, and I went and just solve problems across the. I help people close deals. I help people do all types of stuff.
You is in your bag.
Yeah, and so then it's like that boy John, like he know what he's talking about. He tapped in, like he gonna come save your call. Like, have you called John? Have you talked to him? Like other like customer success managers and stuff in our company, they be like, oh, I have a customer with an API problem. They be like, oh, have you talked to John? You know,
love that.
And so it really is like finding those spaces, like, and sometimes that might require you doing some extra work for a season, you know, but if you want to get promoted there, you know what I'm saying? Like you can go, you know, pack up your stuff and ride out, you know what I'm saying? You can always do that.
Yeah, but when you at a good company and they treating you good and it's like, yo, there's more money here, I just gotta whoop. Bro, that's such a fire tip you just gave. That's yo, that alone is like enough. Just that tip alone is just enough for the whole conversation, dude. Oh man, let's get to another one. All right, so what soft skills are needed for a product?
Soft skills. I would say you really, low key, you really need to be a good listener.
Okay.
Yeah, like for real, like that. I would say that's like one of the main things that you need to be really, really good at is being like, I would say, yeah, you need to be a really, really good listener, and you need to be able to ask really, really good questions. Like, yeah, the technical stuff is fine, you know, but you need to really be able to ask good questions and listen really, really well, because there's always, you know, you really have to see, like, because a lot of times you think product is just about, oh, I'm going to go do this thing that you told me to do. Like, somebody's like, I need a button right here that does this. Yeah. I'm like, what are you trying to do? Yeah. Well, actually, I'm trying to blah, 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 blah. Like, oh, so you're just like, so the real problem is actually this. Yeah. But in your mind, with what we have, you think the solution is here when it's actually there. You know, so actually we need to be fixing this problem. And so, like, being a good listener and being able to ask good questions are really big keys.
That definitely overlaps a lot with being a sales engineer, because obviously we're not creating anything, but when customers, whenever they saying, oh, we're interested in a company, you know, if your product or your technology could do this, and this, and it's important where it's like, yo, we have to ask the why. Like, okay. Even if it's something where we're like, we can't do that, it's like, wait, why do you need that?
Why do you need that?
Because many times they don't know what they don't know. So they think they need this thing. But then sometimes we can show them like, oh, we don't do that. But we don't do that because that's outdated. And we actually have a feature that replaces that times 10. And they're like, so, wow. So knowing the why is wildly important. I see some overlap in our jobs. So... you spoke to that. All right, good. So that person got their question answered. All right, so what errors and pitfalls should someone avoid when working in tech?
There's a lot of stuff. I would say some of the biggest things that I see people doing, I think, and this is really probably just like a job thing in general, is like not being solution oriented. Like, or being negative. Like, when you're really, really negative, or like you're not solution oriented and how can we solve this problem, or, you know, instead of just keep pointing at the thing, like, how can we fix that? How can we figure it out? You know, because
instead of being like, that's stupid, that's this, that's that, yeah.
And some people really have that mentality, like, but tech literally is a business where it's about solving problems. Yeah. And so you don't want to be the person on your team, on the call, all the things, who is negative. Yeah. I would say another thing is like being unprepared. Like, do not show up like to meetings, don't show up to anything and you're unprepared. Like, you haven't looked at anything. You ain't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Being unprepared, like, is really one of those things. You cannot just vibe it out. Like, you know, like, no. That red, you know, I'm like, do not be unprepared.
Man, that I think that says a lot. One of the things I see a lot is people trying to get in tech, and they hit me up. They're like, oh, you give some tips, that. And I'm like, yo, I have FAQs. Have you checked out my FAQs? They're like, well, no, I haven't. And I'm like, well, they're there. And they're like, well, yeah, could you answer this type of thing? And it's just like, I'm like, man. And I try to tell them, like, yo, like, that mentality, I'm like, I can answer your question, but that mentality is what's going to keep you from either getting in this space or you're not going to thrive in this space. Like, you have to fix that thing there.
You have to fix that mentality. Like, oh, I'm going to just come to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, read it. Go look into it. Like, go figure it out. Like, you know, and I feel like, be solution oriented. Like, you know, create an opinion about whatever you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's a big issue for, like, that I see. Like, it's a huge pitfall. It's like being unprepared, you know, in the way you show up at work, you know, and then of course you're not being solution oriented.
And so, bro, what's next with John Wood? Like, bro, what's next? Like, do you have you know, and we ain't gonna say like, do you have any plans to check out another company or anything like that? Like, do you have plans of like, are you trying to move up at your company? Are you good where you're at right now? You're cool where you're at? But also outside of your company, when it comes to Black Forever, like, what's next with Black Forever? Like, what are you trying to work on right now?
That's great. I still am trying to.
And also, y'all, this is Black Forever merch right here.
Yes, sir.
And also, you know, check in the description, all of that. We'll make sure to leave a link for the website. Check out their merch. All of that is definitely dope. Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah. I think right now my focus is like crafting myself as a leader. You know what I'm saying? And we have very, very strong product leadership at my job. And like, I really want to continue to kind of sit under those leaders and like learn, you know what I'm saying? And be like, you know, cultivated and molded by that leadership while I'm there. And so that's definitely like the goal today. Like, yeah, do I probably want to move up? Yeah, I can definitely see myself doing that. Like having a larger team, you know, being able to really, you know, promote people, you know, really see, you know, push other people. Cause
are you in a position to hire people? Like,
oh yeah, I've hired somebody. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I hired a Black woman on my team. And so that was really nice, really dope to do, you know? And so being able to do things like that is like, how do I, cause like now it's like, okay, I made money, you know what I'm saying? I'm seeing what that looks like. How do I now start impacting other people's lives? You know, it's like that's what you want to move, like how I desire to move up.
Bro, one of my most depressed times in my life, it didn't last long, but it was actually after I got into tech. And I wasn't making a bunch of money, but it was literally when I was just making like about 100,000. And I remember waking up, going to the gym, and I felt like, okay, I have enough where I could kind of do it. And it made life feel so pointless. I was like, yo, and that's the moment I realized, even though I knew I wasn't making big money, that was the moment I realized, like, bro, just making a lot of money for the sake of making money to live a comfortable life, I was like, yo, that's so depressing. And so I was like, yo, God, it has to be more than this. So I became very happy to be like, yo, something to help people and give back to people, type of thing. So I love that you use, because I know, I don't know, you know, I ain't pocket watching, but it's like, you know, look, y'all could look on Glassdoor to look at what a manager of product management in tech like is, you know, kind of the median whatever type of thing. But yeah, man. So you're saying like. So I kind of took your thunder, what you're going in on.
So on that right there, like in business, like for my job, like, yeah, I would probably stay here, you know, a little bit longer. Like, I'm really interested.
Because you're like, yeah, I might move up, whatever. But it's like, yo, more money at this point for you is like.
Okay, right. That's not necessarily the goal.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to continue to like make impact. Like, how can I impact the people like that work with me? Like, how can I grow as a leader and grow other leaders? Yeah. Like, how can I do that? And the same with the business. Like, I feel like the business, we need to make some more money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we definitely got to continue to figure out how can we scale the business. Like,
you in there.
Yeah.
When you at a company and you're really thinking like, how can I help this company? Oh, bruh. And that's why they see so much value in you. And I think a lot of people don't get that, because many of us, including myself, just think so much like, what can I get from the company, instead of thinking like, man, no, how can I really help this company move better?
And like, it is a different, people know who, like the people who think like that too. Yeah. Like you can see it. And so, and for Black Forever, it's about, you know, scaling that business up so we can figure out, you know, how can we make, because really, like, I want to continue to, like, I want my business partners, I want us to be able to like maybe walk away from Black Forever one day and we got bread. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, that's always what I'm talking about, bro. Let's grow this business. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could probably sell the business or whatever we're going to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, do we want to be making merch when we 40? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? That's probably not what we're going to be doing. But can we, like, go all in for a few years and figure out, okay, we go sell the business to whoever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, there are always going to be bigger players in, you know what I'm saying, in the, you know, in the space of clothing or whatever. But the concept of the brand just makes so much sense. Yeah. Somebody's going to see it and be like, oh, I would buy that. Yeah, I would buy that. I would buy that brand for a couple mil or whatever it is. You know, as a business owners, we walk away, we got bread in our pocket, and we go figure out what we gonna go do next.
Man, that's a whole nother like show right there just to talk about, because that's something I'm like, man, like that makes sense because so many people think about starting something and they're just thinking about, oh, I just want to keep this thing forever. No. And one of the things I've noticed about being in this space is that most tech companies I've seen, startups, their end goal is to get bought.
It's to get bought.
It's to get acquired.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm like, yo. And it's like, that's, and it sounds crazy, but it's like the more you look at it, it's like,
makes sense.
Yo, that makes perfect sense. Cause it's like, cause first off, so many headaches. Like if you build something up to where like now your enterprise, you know, you have over 1,000 employees, like all the stuff you have to deal with, the PR stuff, just everything, it's so much that goes into even things that I don't even know about from my vantage point. But I'm like, yo, it's such a huge headache. And it's like, yo, the idea of selling yourself, or we're talking the software companies, they're getting sold for hundreds of millions, billions of dollars. And it's like, that's a big payday.
That's a payday.
To get. So it makes sense that many of them want to, especially their investors, eventually want to, want to either go public or get bought or something like that.
Yeah, so that's my goal. Like, how can we do it? Make a whole bunch of bread, and we be like, okay, now I'm about to go into real estate. I'm about to go buy houses.
Did you think that way before? Like,
no.
Do you think working in tech?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it changed my mindset.
Yeah. How did it, like, what did it teach you or show you?
Yeah, I think it just showed me, like, I feel like you really like starting looking like, okay, what are you really working for? I think Jay-Z had a quote that he was like, when he was talking about ownership and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, you own the business, but he was like, what he said, he was like, I forgot, he was basically talking about like, basically, yeah, you own it, but own it $0 is still $0. Like, yeah, you.
Oh,
yeah,
bro, Jay-Z got.
Yeah, he got bars.
Bro. He's quoted so much in business. It's really crazy.
It's like 100%. Yeah, 100% of $0 is still $0. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, being Black Forever being 100% owned by us or whatever we got in our account right now is still just that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we need to go figure that out. You know, and so that's really my goal. Like,
because I know he sold Tidal, so that's probably he was like, you know, because I know Tidal was doing well. It was doing better than most other streaming platforms aside for Spotify and Apple Music. But still, that makes sense. Where he's like, all right, this is just, it's at this point. Let me go ahead and sell it.
Correct. And so that's kind of where I'm at. Like, how can we do that with this brand? Like, how can we then go sell it?
That's fire.
Yeah.
We need to restart the Renaissance, grow it, and then sell it to Eventbrite.
Hey, listen, like, it's crazy, like, the conceptually of like what you're building, and somebody who sees that, because what people are doing is what my company does, because they bought a company when right before I got there, and they said, hey, we're so and so. We need more market share, or we need to solve this problem. Yeah. It would take us 3, 4, 5 years to go build a product that could solve that problem. Oh, snap. They're already doing it. Yeah. Let's go buy them. And that's the way.
And they only do that thing.
Yeah, and they only do that thing. And same thing is like, who sees what we're doing, you know what I'm saying, for Atlanta, for Black Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, crafting ourselves, our unique value proposition or whatever as a business to whoever wants to go and speak to Black Atlanta natives. Yes. And they say, oh, these folks already got these brand, you know what I'm saying, these trademarks, these, you know, quotes, these whatever, these designs. Let's just go buy those.
Man, that makes so much sense. I was listening to this dude who he booked some time with Grant Cardone. He literally paid something like $200,000. It might have been more than that, how much he paid. But he literally booked the time just so he can make a YouTube video and share for free everything Grant Cardone taught him. He does this with a lot of rich people because he's super rich. He has a $100 million business.
Okay.
He'll literally give them a few $100,000, ask them questions, and he'll make a YouTube video and just share everything. It's really gems. And one of the things he was talking to with Grant Cardone is talking about diversifying his business to where he's able to reach other demographics, whether we're talking different like ethnicities, genders, whatever. And Grant Cardone shared with him, he was like, you're your own avatar, basically. It's like, you can try to sell to another market yourself, but it's only so far you can bend. And he was like, I find people who are doing what I'm doing, but for a different demographic, and they're not at my level, but they're doing great. And I'm like, let's partner together. Like, I'll buy you out, or we'll find some kind of way to loop you in. Whoop. And it's like, you'll win, we'll win. You're still able to capture your audience, but now we've added that into like our framework of business. And so I was able to hear that from that angle, and it didn't really tie together to me until now, where it's like, companies, it makes sense why they would do that, where it's like, they could, like, even just an example you gave, it's like, okay, instead of them trying to build out a product, or instead of them trying to figure out how do we capture this audience, one of our smaller competitors already has that. They have a gridlock on that audience. Let's go to them, offer them a big deal to buy out or work something out. And it's like, that's fire.
Yeah.
Bro, you're dropping some gems, bro.
Like, that's literally like my encouragement to people who are, trying to start a business or whatever it is, start, the business is your baby, but what is that? Is there an exit strategy? Like, do you want to be working that business forever, or do you want to go grow it and then figure out who you can sell it to? You take the bread, and then you go do something else with your time and with your money, and so I feel like that is, that's
a hack that a lot of our community does not know about. Don't even think about. Thing. Dude, I love that so much, man. Bro, John, man, thanks so much for being on, man. Bro, so we talked about a lot of things. There was a lot that we didn't get the time to cover. Bro, definitely want to give you the floor, man, to share on your heart, like anything that you want to share with the people that's on your heart, on your mind. Yeah,
I think my biggest bars for folks in tech, maybe business owners, is reminders. I've been saying this for a few months, and we talk about this at my church a lot, is like, you are not stuck. Like, you are not stuck. Like, you're not stuck in this position. You're not stuck at, you got a business. You're not stuck at the amount of money you're making today. Yeah. You're like, if you're not in tech yet and you want to get in, you think you're stuck at this job, you are not stuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You just, like, the biggest things we talked about content. We talked about what you intake. Like, what you need to begin to do in your life is feed yourself, where you want to be. Start envisioning yourself where you want to be, feed yourself that information that you need, and then you're going to have to start changing your mindset, about how you see life and how you see what's available to you. Because a lot of times we don't go after stuff because we think it's too good for us.
Yeah.
Like, we think we can't obtain it. We don't think we're smart enough or we're capable enough or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so my big thing is like, what wisdom do you lack? What information do you lack? That's why they talk about knowledge being power. Because, a lot of times you just don't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, I was in professional services at the first company I worked at. And it wasn't until they got a product owner who came to our team. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what do you do? And she's like, I'm a product owner or whatever. And I worked with her and I was like, I like your job.
Yeah.
I want to do that. And she was like, oh, yeah, you would be a great product owner. Dang. And then I found the job and I got out of professional services because I didn't want to be on the phone at night doing customer stuff at 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I didn't want to do that.
And it was all from knowledge, all from you being exposure to it.
I'm not stuck here. I just don't have the right information, or wisdom, or I'm not the discipline, to apply what I've learned and what I've seen in order to get me to the next step and the next level. And so my biggest reminder to people, wherever you are, if you feel stuck, you are not.
Man, I love that. You are not stuck. I love that. So, man, bro, where can people find you? Where's the best place for people to find you, to see you sharing knowledge, content, anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. So definitely check out You Want to See Me Talk, because I do be on Instagram talking. I'll be on it.
No, he be dropping gems. Though. Like if y'all, I know y'all enjoyed the gems. He be dropping gems.
Yeah, tap in with me on Instagram, Poet John Wood. That's PoetJohnWood on Instagram. You can feel free if you're trying to get in tech. You want to ask me like product questions. Check me out on LinkedIn. John Wood also on LinkedIn. As well. If you're a business owner and you're trying to, like run a brand, or you maybe you're from Atlanta and you want some product, check me out. Check me out on Instagram as well. But I do run a brand. It's called Black Forever. It's spelled BLKFRVR. It is an Atlanta brand, for Atlanta enthusiasts, so people who love the city of Atlanta. And if you love Atlanta or you just want to see what we got going on, check us out. BLKFRVR. On Instagram, blkfrvr.com.
Yeah, make sure y'all check out the description, show notes. We'll have Black Forever in there for y'all. John, bro, man, dude, bro, I'm so proud of you.
I'm proud of you, bro. I was talking to my sister outside. She called me, and I was like, I'm at Cyrus' house now. I'm doing woo woo woo. Yeah. And she was like, I was like, she was like, oh man, she was like, that's so dope. How Cyrus is so creative. Like I don't know if he, saw himself, being in tech. I was but I was like, I don't know if he did either, but yeah, like he, it's amazing what he's doing. It's super dope. I'm proud of you, bro.
Man, thanks, man, dude. Bro, I love it so much, dude. Man.
Yeah,
it's fire, dude, bro. So happy you could be a guest on here, man. Man, it means a lot. One of the things that we do plan on doing, we're gonna do this quarterly. We're gonna work up to having events, having Texas New Black events.
Oh yeah, it's hard.
We're gonna try to work with hiring managers, recruiters in certain tech companies, and also cultivate our community, people who either have done boot camps, programs, they've gone to college, or done whatever to kind of come through. But also, so it'd be a tech event, but also have artists and things like that as well.
Oh yeah.
So that's something we're gonna work our way up to. And yeah, man, definitely we'll hit you up to, for you to come, whether it's just to come and enjoy yourself, all of that, or even if it's like to perform and kill it. So
yeah, however, I, anything, especially I feel like I'm finally kind of reaching that point of success in tech where I've seen, I know a lot without, I really like however game people want or need that I can offer, what I'm saying? Like, I definitely want to be a part of that.
That'll be fire, man.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, y'all. Look, man, thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of Tech is the New Black. Look, y'all, make sure y'all follow John Wood. Make sure y'all check out Black Forever, all that good stuff. He shares a lot of amazing gems on his Instagram channel. A lot of gems I be getting from, and I be taking notes and stuff like that. He's a really great person to follow. Also, check him out on LinkedIn. All of that good stuff. Again, I say this all the time. Don't feel like you have to I gotta work at his company and it's just his company. Like, there are a lot of great companies in this space, in this industry. That's part of the purpose of bringing different amazing guests on like John to show you what's happening in some of these companies or within certain fields of work or sub industries within tech. So kind of take that to heart. But we'll see y'all on the next episode.